our manager David will give this seminar in English, and David has gone through many cases of recall and trap process. I think that through this seminar you will learn a lot of things, lots of techniques, and from one sense that I do not know you know, after the seminar, you feel that you get scared, you get bombarded, and then, you know, you are afraid to do anything in real estate. In the meantime, that I do not want our agent too bold and just like go ahead to do anything, and then afterwards you have a problem, you have issues. Sometimes maybe our managers can help you to solve the issue, but in most cases I would prefer you check with our managers first. Because in real estate transaction, the most important thing is what is the buyer's initial decision. I want to give you an example that happened in our office. Is 10 years ago, one of our office agents put an offer for a 4-bedroom double-car garage detached house in Richmond Hill. The asking price is $589,900, and then our agent put the offer for $588, and then the offer was accepted. The agent dropped the deposit, and then he asked the buyer to go to his bank. Only by that time that the banker called me, saying that why you agent send the buyer to me for this deal? He said, what do you mean? He said, you are buying a house priced at $58,000. You do not need a mortgage. I said, where can you buy a house at $58,000? He said, unless there's something wrong here, I raised offer clearly is $58,000 at 58000. I said, how many zeros? He said, 30 before the dot, 20 after the dot. I said, that must be a mistake. So during the offer presentation process, the buyer agent typed the offer wrong. The listing agent misread it. The seller happily accepted the offer. Okay, so the purchase price should be $580,000, but instead he put $58,800. Okay, you probably want to know that the results. Let me ask you this: if you are the buyer, are you going to insist to enforce this contract?
Yes.
Can you be successful in enforcing this contract?
I think so, yes.
How many people think that this contract is enforceable? Raise your hand. Yeah, black white in writing, and then already is 4 or 5 days. So how many people say that this contract is valid, enforceable? Tell me. How many people say this contract is not enforceable? What are the other people? You are not real estate.
They don't know. No idea.
Okay. Whoever says this contract is enforceable, you are wrong. I tell you why. No, it's not make sense. It's not make sense. So in the phase 2, of the course. What is a contract? Barbara, what is a contract means?
Contract is an agreement between two parties, and agreement between two
No.
parties. Is
Wendy, what does a contract stand for?
It's the mutual agreement.
No. What does a contract stand for, Raj?
consideration.
Contract is when two parties just agreed upon and signed a document. Agreed on the terms.
Everyone is getting there, but it's not getting the exact concept. The contract is meeting of two men. You read the wording in your real book, it says so. Okay? So let's say everyone gets a message today, and then the office says that at 10 o'clock, training here by our manager. So our concept is 10 o'clock in Markham office, trained by our manager for this topic. That's meeting of your minds, right? Agent call me and say, Tony, why you do not tell me that the training is in Markham office and not in Zag office? Why can't you clearly say that it's Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, September, this is what, 17. Why don't you put a date? Well, I put the message tomorrow, send out yesterday, tomorrow, that's today. So this contract is not enforceable because the two men's meeting point is not at 58,000. The two men's meeting at 588,000. Okay? So this contract is not enforceable. In the conclusion, I call the listing broker, I call the agent and say, sit down, discuss together, find a solution. Well, the bar is very excited, said, I'm going to get my lawyer sue you. Sue the seller. So the lawyer says this contract is not enforceable. Because when you go to see the property is the 589 and solid, not the 59 solid. And when you put the offer, you put a deposit for the solid. You are not going to put a 40,000 deposit for property listed for like 50,000. You're not going to pay 80% of the purchase price. And it's not reasonable in the marketplace. So when we talk about reasonable, sometimes our agent, you got to be reasonable. Okay? Our agents sometimes are not reasonable. Okay? Lots of agents are not reasonable at many situations. Okay? Either you are greedy, either you are aggressive, either you try to make more money. Okay? That's why sitting in our position, managers, our book record, are very difficult because I have to convince you, I convince your client, and blah, blah, blah. Why it's not reasonable? Because of money. Okay? So go through this seminar. I want to learn a couple of things. First of all, David will mention this. BRA is very important. Okay? BRA is very important, then BRS is also very important. How many people know what is BRS? Raise your hands up. So only one agent trained probably by landmark. What is the BRS stand for? Not many people know? You get really surprised. Okay? Secondly is, in our real estate transaction business, you got to have your own principle. You got to have your own bottom line. Okay? If I always say 3F rules: focused, flexible, friendly. But how flexible you are, rules is rules. Okay? Sometimes if you can insist your principle, then you will not being get around by other people. Okay? We have a lot of stories we share in the office that sometimes our agents think I'm very smart. What do you think? I'm a smart person. But as a matter of fact, the smart person can be fooled by other people. Okay? If you think you are smart, then maybe you lose at the first place. If you treat other people smarter, then maybe you will win at the end. Okay? I'm not going to delay more time on this. David will go through lots of cases happening in the office, including trial arbitration, including our agent being sued to RICO, including RICO insurance coverage. But the one thing for sure is you have learned a lot of things in your 5 or 6 courses. And then you have gone through trainings in the office. Okay? I want our agent to know that the training we give you here is practical. And for most new agents, if you have any problem, even senior agent, you have been in this business long enough. If you have any issue are not clear, not for sure, then consult our manager or me in advance. Okay? Do not call me 7 o'clock in the morning and say, Tony, I made a deal last night, I make a big mistake. What can I do? When I heard your whole story, well, it's only 7 hours apart, but maybe it's too late to rescue you. Okay? So David will start the seminar.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah. See, good question regarding that 580 to 58,000, right? The price. See, I mean, is it not like you open up the whole? It's like opening the whole Pandora's box. Like, I mean, let's say they're probably listed $1 because they're expecting, let's say, $1 million, right? So now, we bring an offer, it's a $1 property, we bring an offer for $1 million, and tomorrow either the buyer or the seller can walk out of the contract saying, no, the property is at $1 and you're bringing an offer at $1 million, so this offer is invalid. Price is one thing. Second thing, there are so many terms and conditions, either the buyer or the seller could walk out from the contract saying, no, this doesn't make sense, because again, it's not correct thinking, how parties are thinking. I mean, how do you I really didn't understand when you said that at $58,000 people could walk out because you said 580 and now you're going to offer at 58,000. Because all the parties are signed, the buyers are signed, the sellers are signed, both the agents are signed. So I think it's obligatory for all the parties to honor that contract. That's what I think.
Can I answer your question then? The same case, Tony mentioned that the one time in our office, our agent put the offer in, asked for $780,000. And our agent put the price, $750,000 to the seller. The seller signed back $778,000. Our agent out in our office, our agent put the counter offer back to the seller, $850,000. Over the seller's counter back offer. The second day, the seller, of course, happy to accept it, right? As I say, I asked for the deposit. Our agent just found out I was wrong. Actually, not $825,000, more than the seller's signing back. That's a mistake. Our agent, 3 days, fighting for this deal for a week. 3 days, cannot sleep at night. He representing his relative, brother-in-law. So if some other client, maybe a different thing, right? That's even close friend, relative. He spoke to the lawyer, he spoke to me, he spoke to Tony. What we can do is say, we can only say it's a mistake. Mistake, say spelling mistake, whatever mistake, it's right. And the seller's lawyer also talked to the buyer's lawyer. For 1 week, finally both agreed, release the contract. So that's what I can say, answer to your question, something reasonable, something common sense, right? So people make mistakes, like our agent, everybody makes mistakes. Me, Tony, Sammy, we all make mistakes, but we can admit it. We have to know how to deal with it, right? So that's it, I answer. Tony, do you agree?
Well, you mentioned Pandora box, but the issue in our real life is what is the meaning of our life? Or what is the meaning of our real estate agent? You know, like the first time I was sued in court back in 2002 with one of my own clients. That's the first time ever in court. Before that, I never even go to court with a client. And the lawyer is hired by RICO. The lawyer says one thing. The lawyer says the best doctor is keep your patients out of hospital. And the best lawyer is keep your client out of court. He said that 99% of the cases here, 99% of people sitting in the hallway, 393 or 363 University, in the courthouse, he said, will be settled, will not be in front of the judge. Can the buyer enforce his contract? Yes. Can he try to sue the seller to the court? Yes, of course. You can sue anybody in anywhere if you want. But the problem is, if you go to court, even the judge sit aside with the seller, with the lawyer say this is a mistake, simple mistake, and then everybody demands meeting point is not 50,000. Then you're going to spend a lot of time, lot of money in court for nothing. My lawyer told me that people fight in court for two things. One is for 90% of people fight for court for what? For money. Okay? And money is not a big issue. If you have people fighting for the second reason, you're going to have a big problem. The second reason is what? For what? For principle. 中国人要斗口气。
Justice, yeah.
Yeah. So for justice, that is, it's very difficult to reply to you and say this is right, that is wrong. But at the end of the day, we have lots of cases. A similar case with David mentioned that another agent in the office, same thing. Okay. As a broker manager, I'm not a lawyer because I don't charge you lawyer fee an hour. If I'm a lawyer, I will encourage everyone to go to court, sue them, because I charge a lawyer fee, right? But at the end of the day, what is the meaning of our life? I was born here to fight with anyone in the world. I'm a fighter. What's the meaning of real estate agent? I'm going to fight with you to death. I don't think so. This is not my philosophy. This is not my principle. I'm trying to settle anything. Okay? That's why, for you, for your own benefit, if you have a similar case, the best solution is calm down. Sit down with your client, analyze the whole situation. Okay? If you've been real estate long enough, you probably heard of one word. Okay? Real estate agent close more deals. Lawyers broke more deals. So lawyers should go broker, not our broker. Okay? The reason for that is, for one case, that's why this seminar is very, very helpful for everyone. Because if you are, no matter what, you are right, you are wrong, you are winning party, you are loser in the end of the day. If you complain to RICO, if you involve arbitration case in trial, minimum, you need 6 months attention, time, energy, everything. I see in the office, John, not this John, Mary get a case here. Then I see his production, his transaction, his volume drop sharply. Okay? Within the first year of the first arbitration complaint, then we see that he does not make any transaction anymore for the whole year. But end of the day, nobody comes to my office and say, Tony, that's a big kick. I tell you, I'm a winner. Because the winner does not win 100% of the cash reward. I gone through case, I spent 35,000 in lawyer fee. You think that I'm a winner. The court should reward 100% of my legal cost. Does it? Tell me. If I fight with you, I win. I spend the $55,000 lawyer fee. Are you or the court or judge going to award me, say, Raj, you're going to pay the 100% of the total amount of legal cost, total amount of time, whatever? No. The maximum, the loser will pay the winner 50% of your legal bill. That means if I for a target of 100,000, I spend the 55,000 legal bill, and the day I am a loser. Because the judge is not going to award 100% of the target. I'm claiming for 100,000. The judge only award my legal bill from you for half of it. So both parties are losers. Okay? So for everybody here, for your own benefit, you should learn a Chinese word. I let everyone Chinese here to explain what the word is. 中庸之道. How to be a mediator to think that what is my target today? If you say my target today is going to fight with you until I win, I probably say, sir, we're not in the same track. Maybe you should move to the east of Woodbine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Let's come back. Okay, everyone. Today's section really important to us. Even you are a new agent, even you are senior experienced agent. In our office, really, we have been through a lot of cases. I can say maybe once a month or sometimes twice a month, I have to go to the shop for arbitration. Some of us here, they've been with me there as well. So because for the agent, you're easily to be sued by other trader, by other agent, or sometimes you are complained by your clients. So no matter how good you are doing, even yesterday one agent called me. I spent a lot of 3 months, 4 months with my client, and the deal closed, the key just hand over. At the end, the client complained him, called me twice, and sent me the email, say, the agent, whatever, it's not good, and it's cheating, fraud, and whatever. So the reason is, if the client finds something small, even a very small mistake, they can raise a question against you. So what I can say to our colleagues, our agents, try your best to protect yourself. How to do it? So that's why the session we're here today. So always, the important is whatever you do in your file, in your system, in your database, you cannot find something wrong there. That's important, right? So that's why we're here. And as I mentioned just now, our case in CHOP, in arbitration, in AUREA, RICO, and the largest one so far I deal with, the 3.2 million case. I mean, the sale of the property. Sometimes we complain against other agents. Sometimes we are sued by other agents. So from time to time, a lot of involved is buyer agent, not listing. As a listing agent, of course, easy. You got our papers, listing, put it on MLS, whatever, that's easy. As for the buyer agent, you have to be careful. And last week, another agent called me and said, David, I'm going to put the offer in with the property. Suddenly, the buyer said to the agent, I sold the house with other agent sometime before, a few days before. Then I asked the agent, talk to the buyer if he signed anything via with the other agent. The client said, I'm not sure. I sold the property. I put the offer in for another property about a week ago. I'm not sure he signed anything. What I can say? Because at night, they want to put the offer in. They say, if I don't put the offer in tonight, the client will be gone, or the offer will be sold to somebody else. So what I suggest, find out the document if the buyer has in hand. Secondly, you can call the agent who work with that client. what you can do, call the agent, say, I have a client with me now. He wants me to help put the offer in. I want to know, first of all, did you sign any contract with that buyer? You can ask. Second, if it's signed already, you can say, in this case, because the client does not want to go back with the agent anymore, either they can cancel the contract, the BIA. When it's talking about cancel, a lot of people say, can we cancel BIA? If the client agree, of course. In many cases, the agent won't cancel it. Let's say I work with my client for 3 months, sometimes 6 months. You want me to cancel a contract with my buyer? No way, right? So unless I did something wrong, I did something really unprofessional, or even something related to code of ethics. Unethical things, if I did, I admit it, then I can cancel it. Other than that, I pay attention to everything, rules, regulation. How can I cancel the contract? Just waste my time, right? So in that case, if they don't want to cancel, talk to the agent. Say, I want to cooperate with you. Since the buyer does not want to go back with you anymore, I can cooperate with you. I pay you referral fee. If the other agent says, that's fine, sign contract, do the offer to that night. So that's my suggestion in case something like this. The agent listened to me. He called the guy. They say, they cite the BIA, found the BIA there. The other agent does not want to cancel. Then they say, forget it. Even if you did that offer, they accept it tonight, the next day you work for nothing. So your commission will be going back to the previous agent who has a BIA there. So that's it. Sometimes when you come across something like this, in this case, I always suggest doing that way I said. Okay? So as I said, our agent deal with a lot of people. Yeah, as an agent, as I say, again here, because we deal with a lot of people, you don't know anything, the background of your client, so anything, in that case, okay. Oh, that's better. So to make it easy, to make it yourself, not vulnerable to be sued or to be complained by your client or some other agent, you have to know what you can do, what you cannot do, right? So I give you the handout there. So the handout already, you see, I prepared a few years ago, but there's not too much change there. So I will go quickly with the handout, and I will give 2 cases I deal with so far at present. So we can analyze the case, we see what you can do, what you cannot do. So what the best way to protect yourself. So the first thing that when you do as a buyer agent, or of course for listening, that's easy, right? When you're a buyer agent, you always qualify your client. The same thing I do, the training was showing process. I always advise our agent, qualify the client. You see, whenever the client comes to you, even from some friend, sometimes through that advertising, they call you, they ask you for help, you have to qualify them. First of all, they have motivation. Motivation always say whether they're ready to buy or they're not ready to buy, if they're new immigrant or they are already, sometimes we say relocation, right? So you see the motivation of your client, then you can know what you can help them, right? So by ask question, I always tell our agent, you have to dominate the conversation by asking question always. Let's say if the people just come in, you have to say, oh, how long have you been, let's say in Toronto, in Canada, what kind of job you're doing? And sometimes the people say, oh, how much you're making? No, you don't ask this one. They say, tell you, I want to buy a property, what's the price range? So let's say $1 million house price range, you have to ask, if $1 million house for this property, I want to know how much mortgage you want it, right? So by the way, you will see how you talk the way to your client. In this way, you can smell you can feel something, how much they need it, what kind of job they're doing, right? So you give them some financing, some advice, let's say four times, 5 times of income, whatever. So in this way, you feel something from your client, then you qualify whether to buy it ready or not, right? So that's part of that. So qualify your buyer. Secondly, Tony mentioned BRS. So once the client call you through your friend or through the advertising, whatever, you have to make sure, verify the buyer, whether they are working with somebody else or not. The 2 cases I will show you later on, because I am representing our agent, right? So I try to protect our agent by doing the right thing. So always verify. How to verify? Step by step. So that's why 2 cases I show you with 1. That means that when you do verify the information, let's say the buyer asks, David, I want to buy a house. I have to just say, as just now I mentioned it, they qualify them, right? Motivation, and say, how long have you been seeing the house recently? You ask the question that the buyer. You say some buyers say, yes, I've seen sometime since last month. Whom did you go to see the house? You have step by step asking. You cannot say, oh, did you sign BIA? 1 case I won here. I questioned that agent, the other brokers. I said, how did you verify? He said, I asked the buyer, did you sign BIA? And the buyer said, no. That's it. Now I go bring him over to see the house, buy the house. That's wrong. You have to buy, as I say, step by step, slowly. You have to see. Did you see the house? If they say yes. Whom did you go to see? You say, oh, open house. Then did you put any offer in since you see the house? If they say no, that means that's reasonable. If they say yes, then who bring representing for the offer? You say, oh, and so. Then in that time, did you sign a BIA with the agent? So at that point, you have to ask, right? Did you sign BIA with the agent? Very common sense. By rules regulation, RICO Code of Ethics, if you are representing the buyer, you need the contract. The contract is BIA, buyer agent's representation, right? When did you sign? The first time you have to introduce, you tell the client, that's a process. The latest one by prepared offer, before the prepared offer. So the latest one to sign a BIA. So when you, as I say, when you question the buyer, you say, did you sign the BIA? Did you sign offer? That means if they say sign offer before, put 1 offer or 2 offer for some property, you smell that BIA already there. In a lot of cases, in fighting this, some buyers say, because sometimes the buyer on the whom was sued, right, a complaint against, they were on the other side. They say, yeah, I did not know as a BIA signed because I did not know the BIA, I don't know English, right, whatever. They ask for the panel of the arbitration. They don't care the client understood English or not. They just want to see the signing, the document. One time, that's 4 years ago, one of our agents, we went to the arbitration. We lost the case. We took the client, a couple, to the arbitration as witness. The witness say, that agent who sued us, right, say, that cheating us, fraud us, whatever. The panel say, they don't listen to that part. They say, bring that BIA in front of the couple, say, that's your signature? Yes. Other wife, this is your signature? Yes. They don't care whether you understand English or not. They just want to see the proof. Yeah.
What if they didn't really sign the BRA? But the thing is, they ask the agent to go look for or put in an offer before.
You can do that, yeah. That's what as the first time when you meet with your client, you just have to explain the purchase, selling process. So here I have to introduce one thing here. In our office, the case-wise, we won the case the one time. We have, everybody has to do that as well. This copy I need everyone keep in your file. That's working with buyer checklist. If you are representing the buyer, always bring this copy with you. That's why I say, one time we won the case, I use this one, I say, in landmark I'm training our agent, always carry on this page. They know, our agent knows the process. So the first time they met with the client, they show this, you give a copy to the client. They say, the client understood the process, the selling process. So everything already there. Of course, it's hard for us to convince the buyer to sign the BIA, right? The first time, right? In the first place, they never want to sign it unless you're very close friend, they trust you, they will sign the BIA with you. The only time they can sign with you, again, we mentioned, will be the first time you put the offer in, right? So that, because according to the rules, the latest one is by signing the offer. The signing offer at the time you have put the BIA there. So that's why it's common. If you know someone, see the house, if you know someone put offer in for some house, of course, the BIA already is there. Even though the buyer say, oh, I did not know. The other agent cheat me, they fraud me, they pushed me to sign all the documents. I did not know that's a BIA there. And they know it's cool. Especially nowadays, we use e-signing, right? When you do e-signing, you send a full document, 15 page, 20 page, whatever there. So the buyer just click, sign. So last month, the case I went there, the other agent also say, David, your agent did not explain well that the BIA to the buyer. That's why the buyer did not know the BIA is there, so just click, sign it. I said, we explained it before the signing, the e-signing. Because when they met, when the worksheet they already give them the checklist, they knew everything already. We explained in Chinese already. He said, oh, he does not know English. Then we explained before signing the BIA. So that's they know it's skills. Again, as they say, whatever sign is signed. So the same thing, if you find some buyer, if you ask some buyer, say, oh, they sign offer there or with somebody else, automatically you can assume the BIA is there. If not, another way you can do, ask the buyer bring a copy of BIA. Because the reason I said sometimes if I'm a buyer, some very smart buyer, right? I say I don't want to sign BIA as general with you as 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. I just want to sign BIA for one property. The property I was put offer in. That happens from time to time. If you are a smart agent, you can do that as well. You don't want to sign BIA with me as general, sign this property, right? The offer put in, show it to them. So this way you ask for the client for a copy of BIA, and then you will, most likely you'll know what BIA is there, right? The same thing in another case where I went last year. One agent signed a BIA with the client for 1 year contract. So I challenged the agent. You know, in the market, how many people they can sign for 1 year contract for a BIA, right? The buyer is very smart. They only 3 months will be maybe enough. Sometimes 6 months, of course. The one I challenge one thing. Secondly, in the BIA, the agent she put the 1 year in another use, commercial and residential, right? So I challenge her again and say, nobody will put BIA for both purposes, residential and commercial, right? That's impossible. Thirdly, she put something else, then even worse. GTA and Waterloo has somewhere. What she is planning? Say Waterloo because commercial. She want to buy commercial property. She want to do Waterloo. I said, if you want to do that, why don't you sign 2 BIA, one for commercial, one for residential? In this way, if you want to protect yourself, you can do it, right? So that's why she lost that case. We won that about a year ago. And at one time, last week, I went to arbitration with our agent. We complained against another brokerage. Our weak point is, in a BIA, we put the GTA. The other, the buyer purchased property in Brantford. That our BIA does not cover GTA. Brantford just right over the GTA. Then we went to arbitration. Not to arbitration yet, mediation. In the middle, I tried to get settled half and half, split the commission half and half. In the end, the other side, they do not agree. They say GTA does not include Brentford. Then we proceed to arbitration, next one, a hearing. So we try to argue with the trial whether we can do it or not. So the chance for this one still half and half. But in many cases, if I can see something really to our benefit, I will strongly suggest we go ahead. Right? So in this way, maybe half and half. So this one I say, working with the checklist with the buyer, always remember, I suggest print a copy. Whenever you see the client, hand out the copy to them. In this way, when something really raised, I mean, in your case, it's during the process, that's your proof. You see, I gave my client a copy. They knew it and whatever. So that's a proof, right? Even they don't want to sign BIA at that time, at least when you put the offer in, BIA should be signed here, right? So this copy is very useful. The original copy in our website, our office website, print that out, clear copy, do that, put it in your file, okay? So that's the training. I told the arbitration, every time arbitration, if something comes like this, I say, that's my training in my office. And it's funny that one of my previous broker record, the other brokers, he said, oh, David, yes, that's the same thing I trained you at before, 20 years ago. So she admitted, and everybody said, oh, yeah, that means Landmark, we have really standard, very good training in our office, the process. Okay, so that's one I need to share with you, everyone. Then let's get BIA. Okay, so a lot of people, that's why I mentioned just now, when you do the BIA, really, you have to fill out in a proper way, the right way. Okay, I highlight a few things here. Of course, we're not doing training BIA today, but I have to point out here with you to share with the experience. Always the BIA, you need a contract date, right? The date you see, I say, starting from and from where the date you have to make sure. If something goes a year or over 6 months, something you be careful because this can challenge you if something goes wrong, right? And some clients, they say, I never sign for 3 months, I never sign for 6 months or a year, but you have to make sure clearly, okay? Can you backdate the date, BIA? Because at least a couple of cases, we challenge that there's other agent who signed BIA in that case. Because they leave that breath. Then when the case comes in, they just fill out the day or whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of fraud, cheating, right? So we won one case, that's the one. Because the buyer on our side, then because the buyer say, it's impossible, right? I signed that day or whatever. That day I was working somewhere, how could I sign that? So that's really, be careful about it, okay? So here, the type of property, the use, as I say, so residential, you have to say, sometimes you have to say single family residential or investment property. That's where make a lot of difference, okay? When something really comes up, a lot of difference. Because some buyers say, I was purchased for rental, for investment. If you say single family residential, that means for primary residence, right? The more specific, maybe the better for you, right? So use. And also the people say, our agent, I think that about 2 months ago, see, for new construction, if the client want to buy something like that, I prefer you say pre-construction condo or house, right? It's better this way. Because in the condo sales office, nowadays it's better. Used to be, you can bring your client to the sales office. Then the client goes inside, whatever, if maybe next day they can go by themselves. If you don't have any BIA like this, you can deal with the sales of directly. Then you lose your client. That's one thing. Secondly, a lot of people used to be stand outside the sales office, some other agent, right? So because a lot of walk-in client without agent, right? Then the people walk in, they come out. Some agent outside, they say, oh, David, you want to buy a house? I'm an agent, I'm from Landmark. If you need, I can help you out. So if your client really has no BIA like this, you did not mention anything, she is free to work with anybody else, right? So that's one I suggest you BIA, you can also say pre-construction condo or house, whatever. More specific, then you protect yourself, right? This is it. Location. Here, the location. As I mentioned just now, GTA, we normally, a lot of people do. I still prefer more specific, like Toronto, Markham, Richmond Hill. You put it as more, the township, city will be better. So as I just now mentioned, that one GTA, Brantford is not there, and my question to you, the challenge to the agent, I say, did you induce my client to purchase property in Brantford? That's why the mediator said, David, you cannot say that. I say, because the client never mentioned to our agent, they had intention to purchase property in Bradford or the other side, Barrie, whatever. But they always looking at this property in Toronto area, GTA area. That's why our BIA is there. But the mediator did not agree with me, saying, okay, in this way, we see next one, go to hearing, arbitration. Then arbitration, our client, our agent say, she will bring the buyer as witness. So I have to talk to the buyer, how strong she can help us at the time. So still a question so far. So the geolocation, please put the more specific, will be better, okay? For the PI here, I mentioned, you see, I put here, the reason is, ask your client, the buyer, to initial here. The reason is, by this way, that means the client knew he never signed BIA with anybody else. If something really comes up, you say, the client already mentioned, he knew, he told me he did not have signed contract with anybody else except me now. So that's very important we need for this, right? And that commission, some people, they put how can I put the commission there? The client, if they say 2.5, they say, get away. They don't want to sign it. So here I suggest one you can buy percentage, 2.5. But the client say, well, sometimes the MS 2.25, sometimes maybe 2%, sometimes maybe 1.75%. The client will argue with you, say, David, I don't want to sign 2.5%. What you can do? If there's this way, you can, or here you can say, as per MLS. You can mention this, right? Either way. So you have explained to the client, whatever percentage, 2.5 or even as per MLS, does not mean the client has to pay you. You say, you say, I have been 20 years, 15 years, or whatever in trade. They say, I never follow up the client to make up the difference. That means the reason we need to put the specific percentage, that means I need both you and I to bind in the contract. I need your commitment. You need my commitment. So that's the point. So that's not the reason to say I want to get you to pay me 2.5 if the people to pay me 2.25. That's not the case. So that's only the contract for commitment, right? So you have to explain to them. And here, I did not highlight here. Holding over date, be careful. Holding over date, a lot of misunderstanding, not only for BIA, listening agreement as well. So I have to here share with you also. Holding over date, what that means? That means if the client, let's say for BIA, I will have BIA with them 90 days for holdover. Holdover for 90 days does not mean the buyers within 90 days they cannot buy other property. No, they can still buy or purchase, go with other agent. Any minute after your contract expired, just like listening, the client, buyer or seller, can go with anybody else. Okay? Holdover date only means that if the client, let's say they're talking about the buyer first, okay? If your buyer put offer in for property A, right? And you are the agent representing him to buy property A, then the offer not successful, rejected. Then after maybe a day after, a month, the BIA expired already. In that case, if the buyer wants to go back to property A, then your commission is covered within that holdover period. Understand that? Right? Not mean that the buyer cannot go somewhere else. So the buyer, if the buyer purchase property with some other agent, you can go over the buyer or the buyer agent. They say, I hold over. I have proof. That's my client. We put offer in already. Okay? So that's hold over. That's the thing. As a listing agent, the same thing. If you are a listing agent, your listing expired already, the next day. If some previous client who purchased the property offer in, you have proof that's your client. Somebody else's client, no. If it's your client, you are still covered by that whole period. Doesn't matter 90 days, 180 days, or not. That's holdover period. Don't misunderstand. A lot of buyers say that our agent called me and say, David, my listing, the sale listing expired yesterday. Can I list the property for the client? I say, of course. Any minute you can do it. Okay? Yeah. So that's holdover period. We had one situation last week. We signed exclusive listing with our agent signed with some other client. The clients so far is out of the country. And then they want to cancel the listing. No, not exclusive. That's BIA. They want to cancel the BIA. Then in the end, I convince our client, say, such purchase, if they don't work with you, they don't want to go along with you, why waste your time? They told me 10 times, call me 5, 6 times, send an email, say, David, your agent does not do your job, your agent does this and that. I don't want to go with him to do anything else. Please cancel the contract. Please cancel BIA. So at the beginning, our agent said, I worked for a few months already. I said, how many property did you show? Few? 5, 6? How many times? 2 times? I say, don't waste time. If you still keep that client for another 3 months or whatever, waste your time. What's the point, right? Say, cancel it. Okay, finally she cancel. The client received a cancellation of BIA. The second day, he called me again, come to your office to see me. David, the BIA, the holdover period, 180 days. That means I still 180 days you have to hold over me. I say, no, that not mean anything. She said, of course, I put one offer for one property, and your agent helped me to negotiate one verbally for a property I saw, 1.4 million, something like that. She said, if the property in wintertime coming down, did not sell, if the price coming down, maybe I can go myself later on. If you have 180 days, that means I cannot go back to this product until next year, right? So, I talked to our agency. Did you see the property? Yes, she said. He showed the client twice the property. Did you put it offer in? I asked him. He said no. Just verbally talk to the agent. In that case, I said she wants to cancel the holdover period as well. And so the agent said, David, what I can do? How many offers? I say, ask the agent put in. They say one offer. Okay, I say, let's do it this way. Cancel the BIA with holdover 180 days, except for the property A, which they put offer in some date, whatever date. So that means 180 days still covers that property. Our agent put offer in for the client. Then we cancel the holdover period. So a lot of people, they ask a funny thing from time, but of course they don't want anything argument later on, right? So that's the BIA. I have to, everybody have to know when you do that as buyer agent, be careful, okay? Anything about BIA? Anything question about it? Because you are working mostly with the buyer from time to time. If you do something not correctly, when you come back, really, you miss something. If you want backdate or whatever, it will be trouble. And sometimes, I remember the client, when they purchased something, everything firmed up. Before closing, you want some client to make something to make up. Yeah, they don't agree, right? So you be careful. You do the first time right? So that's the BIA when you do it, okay? So as a listing agent, of course, that's easy, right? And from time to time, you do the paperwork. The only thing I have to remind you as a listing agent, do not copy everything of previous listing. They may go wrong, always, sometimes mistaken. We have at least 3 or 4 cases as a listing agent. MS information was wrong. One is for sealing. According to previous listing, 10-foot ceiling. Then our agent just copied 10-foot ceiling. In the end, before everything goes right, and inspection, whatever, the buyer never mentioned anything. On close, the day before closing, raise question. It's a 9-foot ceiling. You have compensated me, the seller. Do you think you have to compensate? That's misleading. So that's our listing agent job. You have to verify. The seller say, I don't know, that's whatever there is there, so you have to verify, right? So our agent did not verify it. That's a big argument. So it talk about 2 or 3 days, at least before closing 2 days, then finalize some compensation. They can ask more, they can ask less. So they can sue the seller. Seller say, this is your job, you verify. So after closing, if something goes wrong, the buyer still can come back in 2 years' time, can sue the seller for misleading, for fraud, whatever, right? So that's really, as a listing agent, you have to verify. Now, the seating, the book aside, how many rooms or separate entrance, legal right, that's a lot of issue as a listing agent as well. And another story, our agent as well, commercial for a unit, it's only 150,000 for sold. In a listing, in the offer, did not watch it carefully. Say AC, we see, right? Everything will be included, including AC. In fact, that commercial unit, no AC there. So the buyer knew. They don't, again, there's this, a lot of people very smart. They knew something wrong there, but they never mentioned. Before closing, bring the case to the lawyer, ask for brand new AC. They know AC. How come they put the AC there? Say AC is working condition. In the end, who's going to pay? Our agent pay for that. The commission, 150,000, that's for the unit. Even 5% commission, how much you can? So from his pocket. So I don't want you, our agent, you're working so hard, then in the end, you have to pay back anything from your pocket, right? So verification is always important. Something important I have to say, as a buyer agent, as a listing agent, the job very, very important. You have to do it. As a listing agent, only thing to listening, you have to verify the ID. Important, because we have fraud from time to time. Some tenant use as a seller because they receive a property tax bill or whatever, right? So in the mail, they say, I'm the seller, whatever. They sell the property, they got the money, then they disappear. It happens for a young shepherd about a few years ago. So as a listing agent, your job is to verify. Unless you know your people. You don't know property tax bill, ID, and whatever, all the utility bill, whatever, you have to prove that's really the real owner. Otherwise, you sell the property, you did not know anything, then you are in trouble, right? Also, sometimes everything it looks like that's right. The shepherd and young, that property, the tenant make the fake copy of the ID. I don't know where they get it. Then they sold it. The only thing, even the lawyer did not find out. In the end, the lawyer was sued, and the agent was sued as well. So it happened from time to time, right? That's some list I gave you already. I don't want to go through it one by one. And again, very important is is your disclosure. In whether you are selling, you are listing agent, or you are buyer agent, always make yourself disclose. Disclosure, that means if you're listing agent, if the property, let's say, have flood last year, or some suicide, something murder, whatever they are, in case some buyer come in, if they want to put up in, if you knew something already, disclose it. If you don't disclose after closing day, they say, David, you did not tell me the house was suicide by whatever, then you are in trouble. Of course, by law, the seller does not mean to disclose it, but you are the professional agent. You have obligation to disclose it. If you don't, then you're in trouble. How can you disclose? You don't do it in the listing. They always say, please contact listing agent. Only in broker record, broker remark, okay? Don't do the client. Please contact listing agent before you prepare offer. That means when you see something like this, you smell something there. Okay? Always, I mean, remember, if say something like that, either one thing maybe growing house, right? Maybe suicide, murder, maybe some major defect for a property. So because you don't want to see anything in the listing, just say that. If you're a listing agent, again, prepare the acknowledgement, the standard acknowledgement. That means buyer acknowledge the property has a case or situation like whatever you described there. So the buyer will not record or complain against the seller on closing or after closing forever. In this way, you and the seller fully protected, right? Make an acknowledgement. On the offer coming, hand out to the buyer agent, say, that's the acknowledgement. I need this buyer to acknowledge. So this way, you're okay, right? Whatever situation you're right in the acknowledgement, but not in the listing, right?
Maybe for the natural death, do we need to disclose?
Oh, that's another thing. Natural death, you don't need to disclose if they ask. Some Chinese people, they're very suspicious. They say, I don't want to, the property, even natural death in a property. If they ask, if you knew, tell them. If you don't know, of course, right? But if they don't ask, because it's common, people pass away in a property, it's possible, especially some older house, right? So it's possible. But if someone asks it, like, if you're a buyer agent, if you know your client very, very care about it, then so the listing is estate of whatever, estate of whatever. So that means that the people, either in a senior home or they pass away, you ask the listing agent, is that the natural pass? That's there, you can ask the listing agent if you're a buyer, right? If the listing agent, if you say estate of what at the property, you have to ask your seller, is your parents or whatever, whoever has natural death here, you at least you know it, right? You don't need to disclose at this point, but you have to know it. When they ask you, you have to, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the disclosure for the property information. The second disclosure is about yourself. If you sell the property on your behalf, on the family, or related, whatever, if you're a listing agent, you have to say disclose to the other party. If you're a buyer agent, or you buy for your own, you buy for your relative, for your family, friend, you also have to disclose. Because we have a case like this. After the offer firm, our agent purchased the property for their brother, sister, whatever. Then you could argue the good price, right? After a few days, the offer firm, the listing agent call us, say, oh, your agent did not disclose it. He pretty or whatever. So sometimes they can challenge you to the court, right? They say, ask for what kind of compensation. So in our trade, as an agent, because you're professional people, disclose always. You make yourself transparent, right? So that's important. I will not do anything else. Let's go back to the case now. I handout there. I already show you. Let's see the case one. I need case one to start with you. Case one. Claimant. That means we complain against other agent. I give you the short background. Let me bring over that first. Okay. Case one. Cayenne is our agent. And she has two cases. We won both cases. Cayenne is our agent, representing the buyer. And both buyers signed BIA with our agent. So this is one of them. So this one is, you see the commission, 32,000 commission. We won this one. Our agent signed contract, the BIA with the client. Before the client coming over to Toronto in 2016, and they have to reach out because they're through friends. They have a long-term relationship. Every communication, send all information before they came over. In 2017, beginning of 2017, the client came over from China and landed here, then started working with our agent. He went to see the property, saw many of them, put a few offers already, and then offer did not accept it. So during our BIA contract period, the client was introduced or whatever with some other agent through open house. So that's, I come back, I say, the step verify that the situation. The client went to see the open house, then saw the agent talked to the client, asked the client, did you sign BIA? The client, of course, they say, no, I did not. Okay, they did not see that property good, then they started working with the client, show some property, and finally purchased one through that agent. Our agent, Cayenne, she did not know at the beginning. Then one day, through some friends, oh, your client got the purchase property early, and he went to closing, whatever. Then finally, our agent found it. Then filed a complaint against the agent. So please remember, if you found out, if you have BIA with you, with your client, if the client purchased property with somebody else, some other agent, you have to find out within 90 days. 90 days rule, okay? In 90 days, you have filed complaint against the agent. If past the 90 days, you lose your opportunity to file the complaint. So only 90 days period. From closing day, 90 days. After that, what you can do, if 90 days pass, you cannot ask for commission. Then you have to sue the client by yourself. Go to small court. To small court, 2 years period time, you can do it. That means if the buyer has contract with you, this purchase property with somebody else, then within 2 years, you can sue the client to the small court. You can get the money back. We have one case. Well, normally, I don't suggest to sue the client. The reason is you waste a lot of time or whatever. So sometimes, maybe a lot of cases is the client is referred by friend, right? In China, we say, oh, we good relation. I don't want to interfere. I don't want to, make some friend make so hard time, whatever. So in our culture, we do not sue the client in many cases. But in one case in our office is because our agents show the client sign BIA from Whitby, Oshawa, all the way to Brampton, Mississauga, Oakville, for 6 or 7 months period. In the end, the buyer the buyer purchased property with some other agent. Then the due date passed, we cannot sue that agent. Right? Then the agent has to sue the buyer for the damage. You know how many, as I say, 6 months, 7 months time, Brampton, Oshawa, Mississauga, drive a lot. How much gasoline they use, right? That's really, you can imagine, time and effort is actual. Then sue the client. Yeah.
How about the client deals privately afterwards?
Finally, what?
The client make the deal privately with their friend for selling and buying by themselves.
If you found out, the same thing. Because the contract.
They sue the client.
Yeah, the contract. So our agent sued the client to the small court. I don't know, not too much, 6,000, 6 or 7,000, something like that. And in the end, before the hearing of the court, the buyer agreed to pay something to our agent, then they settle out of court. So otherwise, we will last another 2 years, right? That's a long time. So that means, what I can say to you, that means 90 days, try to do it in 90 days, that you get the whatever, right? So in this case, you see, the background I told you already, and let's see, the award is 32,000. You see, 32,914 is award to our agent. What I want to share with you here, the reason was the panel's decision. You see, the fact that I just mentioned to you already, the springtime 2016, 2017, I put offer in, that's the story, okay? The important I want to share with you is, we have a valid BIA. That's what I said always. Your BIA should be valid. Valid, that means time frame, compensation, holdover, everything signed in legible, right? So that's important.
So if the client sold their house with another agent within the holdover period, is the previous listing agent can sue the agent as well?
No, not listing agent, just buyer agent. That means buyer agent can
So I mean
sue
for listing agent.
for listing agent.
Who suspends previous listing with the client, and then the client sold their house within the holdover period.
No.
Only one client.
Your question is this different question. So you are talking about holdover period.
Yeah.
What the holdover you said to me?
It's 90 days.
Yeah, 90
but
days.
This property has been sold with another listing agent.
Okay.
But this is my client, like my case. The property has been sold,
Mm-hmm.
but is within my holdover period.
As I said,
Your client.
let's say, okay, Sophia, your contract, let's say 3 months,
Yeah.
right? Your contract expired, but you have 90 days of holdover,
Holdover,
right?
that's right.
That means 90 days from 3 months contract expired today. Let's say today expired.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Nancy can list your property for
Yeah.
sale. Then he can sell anytime, okay? Holdover does not apply to her. Nancy, she can do anything. Only thing is, if you are in your period, 3-month contract period, Lily, she's the buyer. She went to see, Sophia, you help me to purchase your listing, right? Then she signed contract with you to purchase the property. Then the owner, like Julie, she did not accept the offer. Then the offer is void. Then your listing expired, I say today. Then tomorrow, Nancy listed it. If Lily come back to ask Nancy to purchase the property within 90 days, your commission covered by Nancy.
So it doesn't matter with the listing, another new listing agent.
Only your client, the previous client, okay? The client, you need proof. Lily is your client. If Lily did not say anything, if Lily, let's say, Joanna, she come to see your property, open house, whatever, she did not say any contract with you. Even she went to see your open house 2 times, 3 times, even 10 times, does not mean Joanna is your client. Then you, night over does not cover, right? Got it? So that's a special case. That's complicated, right?
So the client is his kind of BIA
Oh.
or listing?
That's called listing. Holdover. The BI is the same thing. Okay, BI. Let's say Joanna is your
How
client.
to prove that sales from previous his client?
That's why the contract, because Lily signed BIA, she signed offer with Sylvia. So you had proof. The document is here. Lily is my client. So in this way, 90 days period, over still she's my client. Done, right? So that's it.
For this, for example, example, Sophia is Miss Sophia was listing this property.
Mm-hmm.
Lily is my client.
Mhm.
I take Lily to see this, saw this property
Okay.
already during Nancy's listing period.
Yeah.
And my client offered this property.
Okay.
Can Sophia get any commission?
No. Lily is your client. It's not the.
Yeah.
That means
Only-
she only protected for her client. Your client is your counsel. Because Cindy, Cindy is Cindy's client, so nothing to do with you. You cannot prove Lily is my client. No, even she put offer through Cindy your property, she's still her client, not yours. Nothing to do with you. Okay.
Only But if still during Sophia's listing period, I took Lily to see this property, and we offered this property, but it didn't go through.
Yeah, it's your client. Still Sylvia Danok. No, nothing to do with her.
Nancy's listing, we.
Yeah, you go with Nancy. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
So you cannot say, Cindy, this is my client. You prove no, it's not. They have contract. You don't. Right. No. Yeah. Okay. So that understood that's a different, right? Always we're talking about listing or buying as well. The same thing. If you prove that's your client, you can do it. If you cannot prove it, no, you're not obligated to get anything, right? So in this case, let's see that I gave you a background already. So what's the decision by the panel? You see, the important, that's why I say, how do you verify this client? That's the panel say. Regarding evidence presented by the parties, there is no question that remarks, that's the defendant. That means we complain against that agent. Remarks knew the buyer had viewed the property prior to entering the BIA and prepared a successful offer. That means the buyer agent, that the agent, she's purchased property for her client. She did not question the client, did not try her step one by one, as you say. Did you see a house? Did you put the offer in? Who's showing the property? How many offers did you put in? She did not go through that process. You will see next one, we want the next one. I try to do our job there. So such disclosure indicate that an agency agreement may exist previously. That means she should verify whether the BIA existed before she worked with the client. She did not do that, right? She just by asking one question, did you sign BIA? That's it. No, that's not right? So in this way, so there was therefore a heightened duty to investigate the possibility of an existing BIA. That means she has to investigate whether the BIA is there or not. She did not, right? Question one is not enough, right? So in the end, that's the final decision. Remarks did not ask for the name of the brokerage with whom the buyer had viewed the properties with, or if any offers resulted from the said showing. She did not do that either. So all things out considered, remarks failed to take, you see, I highlighted such reasonable step as the detail in article, whatever, arbitration, so guideline. The hearing panel, having no knowledge of existing, that's their excuse. They have no knowledge of existing presentation of agreement, will not be permitted as a defense. They say they did not know anything, whatever. That's not kind of defense. So that means they did not do the job. They did not verify. That they have to, in the end. For this reason, hearing panel, that's been arbitration, finds that Home Life has sustained their claim and is entitled to the commission for the sale of the subject property. So the background I give you already, the only thing the mistake they made, the buyer agent, they did not verify. So I always advise our agent, someone if approaches you, David, I want to buy a house, as the samples, qualify them, motivation, ask question, see what they did before. If they have been seen our house or not, they always say, oh, I did not sign BIA. Then did you see an open house? Yes, I did. How many open house did you see? They will tell you, where did you go? And when was it? Then you say, did you put offer in? Since you see many houses already, did you put an offer in already? If they say, yes, I put one offer. With whom? You ask again. And when was it? Then, did you sign BA? At that time, did you sign BA? Let me tell you, if they say, I don't know, I signed the offer there, the packet. Then you automatically, as I say, you smell BA should be there already. If you don't sign BA at that point of time, that means the agent, not professional agent. Also, the agent already violates the rules and regulation. The reason is, by the latest possible time is sign BA is before offer presented. So that's you can smell it, right? So if they say put the offer in, at that point of time, then you don't work with the client. Or ask client show you the paper. If they don't show the paper, then contact who the agent help the client. Then the agent will say, oh, I put the offer in for them as beside BA here. Then in that way, either we cancel, co-op, or just deny. You have three choices, right? Deny to work with the client, or co-op with the agent, or just cancel the deal. So don't work for nothing at end. If you don't do that way, then you will be getting nothing here, right? So that's the decision made by panel. It's a very long story. You will see. I will show you the next one. That's next one I showed. The paperwork, how much paperwork for one file? When you file a complaint, right? I spend hours with our agent to see, to do the documentation. You have to properly to do the documentation. If you want sue the other agent, or if you are sued by the other agent, how do you respond? How do you prepare the paper? That's very important. The panel have to see your story, have to see it, and verify everything. So in the end, if everything, the facts already there, even you don't attend to the hearing, you can still win the case, right? So your story, your statement, very important. So that's case one. Let's go to case two, okay? Case two story, quickly. This is a big house, this one. That's also our agent. We are sued by another brokerage. Background, I can give you another background on this. This is our agent working with one client. The other agent, Century 21, that's my previous brokerage. The agent worked with the client for some time. According to them, they have been 3 or 4 months, something like that. They signed a BRA, and the BRA was registered on BRS. Tony mentioned just now, right? BRS, I mean, Buyer Registration System. By law, not by law, mandatory. It's not mandatory. You need to register or you don't have to, right? We won this case. My challenge is because it's not mandatory, so we did not check the BRS. But if we check BRS, maybe something will be different, right? So come back to this case. The agent signed BRA, according to the agent, they put 2 offers or 3 offers with the client. The client did not, the offer did not go through, and the client slowed down to showing process. Later on, they lost contact. And for some time, not for a couple of weeks or whatever, our agent knew the client about a year ago, 1 year before, at the party, because they are country fellow, they're from same place, and they have party, they enjoyed all this. Say, oh, David, you are agent, you work later on, sometime I can need your help. 1 year after, one time, the client called our agent, say, this is our agent in the office. Say, I want to see the house. I saw the open house, the house already. Can you help me to come back to see the house? Our agents say, yes. Did you work with someone? They say, no. Did you see the house before with somebody? No. Did you put the offer in for any other problem? The client said, no. I never put sign the BIA for anybody else. Then our agent brought the client to see the house at night and come back, prepare the offer. And the next day, offer presentation, offer accepted, successful without condition, everything from. The house is 3.2 million, right? Offer accepted, then everything okay. After closing, Century 21, the agent found out that house purchased through our agent, then filed complaint in arbitration shop. And so within that day, we had the hearing, arbitration hearing. We won the case. What do we want? My challenge is, first of all, we verify, just now I mentioned, step by step. And before first of all, relationship. We have relationship with the client 1 year ago, right? They knew our agent had working on real estate. Secondly, after they called our agent asked the client the steps already. Then when do you see the property? Again, say, when did you see the property? You say, oh, last weekend, open house. With whom? Listing agent. Open house, listing agent. Did you talk to anything? No. I told the listing agent, I had an agent with me. Then at the property, say, after seeing everything, say, I want to put the offer in. Our agent asked her again, say, if you have agent help you for this property, I cannot work with you. The buyer said, no, trust me. I don't say any BIA with nobody else. So that's why I need your help. Then they sign off that day. So that's why I verify everything. They say. So the panel say, because at training, as I mentioned, the checklist, I showed it to the panel. Say, that's our training. Everybody, our agent. Later on, if you have something, you can also say to the panel, we have the list. I can show you the paper. The buyer knew what we were doing. Then the panel say, as agent, our agent innocent. Right? If something wrong, the buyer's fault. It's not us. So my second point is, I say, if I said to that agent, the complaint against her, I say, if something goes wrong, you can sue the buyer, not us. We are innocent, right? I do my job because the buyer, the client said, lie to me, whatever, it's theirs. It's not me. If you want one case, go to sue for the buyer. That's my point there. So panel accept my point, then we say, we can keep the commission. Okay, the case we won. Then the claimant, they did not accept it. They filed to OREA for appearing. Appearing took us almost 6 months. We finally went to appearing about a month ago. Appearing, the same situation with the claimant. They raise their question and say, our agent did not do their job. The BIA is there, and our agent did not check BIS, whatever. They raise again the question, the same thing as Tony mentioned. So I said to the appearing panel again, I say, BIS is not mandatory. Anybody, you can do that, you cannot do it. So, but in our office, I still prefer, if you have a BIA, put in there BIS. It's better to protect yourself. And if you have a buyer sign BIA, also check the BIS is better. In case something goes wrong, that's our proof, right? So in this way, the appearing panel did not agree with the decision by trial arbitration. Now the case going back to the trial hearing again. Hearing day will be sometime this year again. So in this case, we're still not sure what we can do now. So first time we won, second and appearing, now it's going back to the panel. And so the reason, the weak point for us is our agent only show one property since 1 year. Then a property was accepted and went through already. And so that's a very weak point. We can say verify with trial step. Secondly, BIS is not major issue to us. Thirdly, let's say, what we can do is you have to go back to sue the buyer. The only thing you can do. The only good thing is the buyer say, I don't like the previous agent. She doing something wrong, this and that, whatever, cheating, fraud, and whatever. She wants to come to the hearing as witness. I don't know how strong, they can help us. So that's another case. I will let you know later on if the final decision after second hearing. That's so. So the reason I share you is here. The background I showed you already. So in the first time hearing, let me see. Why we keep the commission? That's a decision by the panel. Something just argument. I don't want to see argument. The final. Okay, here I said the BRS. One argument I said the BRS is not mandatory, so that's no. You cannot use this one to to suit us. They say, oh, you did not check BRS. That's not the major issue. It's not violation. It's not mandatory, right? And also, BRA does not mean that everybody has used BRS. So you can use it, you cannot. So it's not by rule, but by law yet so far. And here is important is our agent, as I say, had long relationship with the client, and they did their job. They did not do anything unethical. That's important. That means you did not violate any rules or regulation. Everything you did is yet according to the rule regulation. So in this way, you will be much safer, right? So that's the panel also agree with at the beginning with my opinion. And in this way, so in the end, that's the decision. Say we keep the commission, but the 3.2 million house over 70,000 commission, right? If we really have to pay back, that's really a big issue. And another issue is because for this deal, people all are for rebate, right? For rebate, then our agent, and sometimes other elements. Because of its, our agent already paid 1% commission to the buyer already, right? Rebate. Sometimes they say, because you use rebate to induce your client, sometimes they do, but in this case, they did not mention anything because we never mentioned anything yet. In some cases, from time to time in the arbitration, they use that term induce. That means use a rebate, half rebate, 1% rebate to get the client sometime, right? So it happens all the time. Yeah, it happens. So in this case, it's not. And so we see the next hearing will be scheduled sometime in this year. At the beginning, they say next month because I will be on vacation. I postponed that schedule already. So we'll see how the outcome later on. And so that's the two cases I share with you. The reason the two cases, it looks like very similar, but in reality, as I say, you have to know how to protect yourself. That's important. Always documentation, and keep all the files. That's very important. So that's about it. Most things here, because when you really a lot of stuff to cover, but I cannot do everything, right? A lot of cases in my file there already as well. And I try to advise everyone, you work so hard, work every day. Some people, 24 hours. That's why our agency only 24 hours a day sometimes, right? No vacation, no weekend, but you have to know how can protect your commission. Once your commission, if someone go after you, you work for nothing. You need to support the family. You need to support yourself. So I don't want something happen to you. So be yourself professional. Be yourself ethical. Be yourself, do good job or whatever. I said, service is one thing. You do a lot of good service. But even a small mistake you make, sometimes some people will file something against you, right? So basically what I cover here for now. Maybe next time we can do BRA training later on. We will see according to schedule. Thank you all for today. Any questions you can still ask. Okay. Yeah.
David,
Yeah.